This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. We may be a comic duo, but we take mental health very serious. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and is completely online. BetterHelp is a network with over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, answer a few questions, and BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network.
You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom-picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/amp. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/amp.
Hey, good morning. So we are going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about the gray rock method, and we're going to talk about the fogged mirror method. So whether you heard of one or the other, we're going to talk about both. So the gray rock method has been around since 2012. The fogged mirror method has been around since today. So the gray rock method was coined by Skyler. She was a blogger who wrote about narcissistic abuse on lovefraud.com back in 2012. She described how acting as dull and uninteresting as a gray rock made toxic individuals lose interest. So think about it. You're walking on the beach. Are you going to pick a gray rock or are you going to pick a shiny object? I mean, if you pick the gray rock, that's fine. But I'm just saying, we're going to compare this with personalities. So the method gained popularity as a survival strategy for people dealing with narcissistic emotional abusers, manipulative personalities. It's often used in workplaces, relationships, family situations where direct confrontation isn't an option. Gray rocking isn't always easy. Sometimes it's unnatural, and in some cases, it can make certain toxic people push even harder for a reaction, especially if you just immediately turn on the switch. And we're going to talk about that to help you understand. Then we're going to talk about the fogged mirror method, where it's more of a redirect. And picture a fogged mirror. It's just mysterious. You can't see your reflection. Maybe not as boring as a gray rock, but it's definitely mysterious and you can't really see through it. Think about that. So let's talk about the gray rock method that Skyler coined in 2012 and how to handle toxic people without engaging. Some people thrive on drama, emotional reactions, stirring the pot, whether it's a toxic coworker, manipulative ex, difficult family member. Dealing with them can be exhausting. It is exhausting. Some of us have been there. If you're listening, you've probably been there. But what if you could stop feeding their need for attention without confrontation or emotional drain? This is where Skyler's gray rock method comes in. It's a communication strategy where you make yourself as uninteresting and unresponsive as possible to discourage toxic people from engaging with you. Just like a gray rock, dull, unremarkable, unappealing. You give them nothing to latch onto. When do you use the gray rock method? You don't use... So this is something that I talked about with a friend a couple days ago, because she said, what if I use the gray rock method on my husband who isn't narcissistic or gaslighting? I'm just mad at him. There's definitely a reason that you would use the gray rock method. If you're fighting with your spouse, use your words, right? Use your words. The method for gray rock is effective when dealing with narcissists who thrive on control and drama. They are people who may twist your words, or maybe they guilt trip you into things. Maybe they're gossipers who try to pull you into negativity. Maybe they're energy vampires who just drain you with endless complaints. Maybe they don't even care where they're having the conversation. They are just belittling you. Maybe they're saying how awful you are. Maybe they're telling you how you're not doing anything right. But the key to this is to respond with no emotion, no reaction, no fuel for their fire. Let's talk about some examples. So recognize that you might be working or dealing or living with a narcissist or a gaslighter. If you need more information, definitely seek out help or a therapist to understand, right? Don't just listen to me. Please reach out, be your own advocate. But once you identify that you are working with or dealing with or living with a narcissist or gaslighter, keep your responses short and boring. Toxic people look for emotional engagement. Take that away from them. Stick to neutral, one-word responses. Again, this is the gray rock method. Fogged mirror is going to be a little bit different. So the gray rock method is one-word responses. For example, they say, "Did you hear what they said about you? Aren't you furious?" You can just say, or, "Okay." There's nothing. Like, "Thanks for sharing that, but no thanks." Or how about, "You always ruin everything. Why are you so difficult?" You can gray rock response by saying, "Okay. Okay. That's how you feel. Okay. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to say anything back. Okay." Validating that they said something, but really not validating that they said anything at all, right? Don't take the bait. Cut off their supply of drama. Definitely avoid sharing personal information. Those people will turn it right back around on you. The less they know, the less that they can use it against you. Keep your conversations surface level. You know, we're people that like to be connected, so I know that this is hard. I am someone that is open. It doesn't matter who's around. I'll tell you anything. So when I had to do some gray rocking in the past year or two, it was very hard because I am a people person. I like to talk about stuff. I like to learn about people. I want them to learn about me, but I realized that it was starting to come back around and comments were being made, and I thought, uh-oh, I cannot share anything with this person. No personal information. So for example, if they say, "How's your new job? Do you like your coworkers?" You can just respond with, "It's fine." Fine. Right? You don't even have to say it with an attitude. Just, "It's fine. Like, I'll go there tomorrow, go to my job tomorrow." You don't have to say anything. You don't have to talk about the coworkers. You don't have to talk about the job. You don't have to talk about the role. It's fine. Or maybe they'll ask, "Any big weekend plans?" And you can say, "Not really. Not really. No." Because they don't need to know what you're doing on the weekend. Especially if you're working with someone, you tell them what you did on the weekend, and then on Monday, they'll say, "Oh, well, if you didn't have those plans on the weekend, maybe you would be more awake today." They will turn it around. So keep it. Keep all of personal information out of it. Avoid it all. It definitely makes you less interesting to them, which is exactly the goal. Be interesting to people that care. Don't be interesting to people that are going to just manipulate you and cause you harm. Don't defend yourself or engage in arguments. That's a tough one because, a lot of times we just want to be our own advocate. We want to fight for what we know and what we did and who we are, right? But once you recognize that a gaslighter or a narcissist or someone that just is cruel and falls under these words or these reactions, you have to stop defending yourself because you know who you are. Don't engage in arguments. For example, they'll say something like, "You never listen. You're so selfish." You can just respond back, "I hear you. I hear you. I hear you." That's it. There's no long explanations. There's no justifications, just detachment. Try to limit eye contact and body language as well. So when we connect with people, we face them, right? not in a work relationship, but maybe you touch their arm or something. Don't do that. Limit eye contact, limit your body language. Don't do anything. Maybe even keep a shoulder up against them, like not touching them, but like towards them. Like you just kind of turn your body away from them where just a shoulder is facing them. Your right shoulder is facing their chest so that you can avoid any type of, like eye rolls, fidgeting, anything like that. You can kind of hide it from them, like kind of turn your body to the side a little bit. I hope I'm explaining that right. I'm moving my body, but limit eye contact. Maybe just look off to the side. Your body language should be turned a little bit away from them. You don't want to open your soul or your core to them, so turn a little bit. So toxic people feed off of nonverbal cues like sighs, eye rolls, fidgeting, quick breathing, anything that you might do that is showing that maybe they're bothering you a little bit. They like that. Keep your tone neutral, not defensive or annoyed. Just, I hear you. Okay, I'm fine. It's fine. Keep your facial expression blank, no reaction. You know what? I'm going to give you a perfect example. I was in a meeting a couple weeks ago with someone who consistently brings up that I was one day late to sending something, but I had told her a couple days prior that it was going to be late because it was way bigger than I thought. And at every meeting, this person brings it up that I was a day late. And the last time I did it, I kept my facial expression blank, no reaction, and didn't say anything back at all, actually. I didn't acknowledge it. I just stared. And then they just went on with their conversation because they realized I'm not going to apologize. I told them in advance. It didn't cause any time crunch to them because I'm doing all the work. I stayed relaxed and I just let them talk themselves into it and out of it. And it was still professional. I just stared at them. Like, can we move on now? You've only said it 3 or 4 times in 3 or 4 different meetings. And guess what? I had a meeting yesterday. They didn't bring it up. Also, one more, keep your posture relaxed. I know that's hard. I am really bad with the shoulders and the chest. By the end of the day, sometimes my chest is killing me because I think I roll my shoulders forward to protect my core. So don't be tense or look like you're being confrontational. That's why you kind of want to turn to the side. Just don't let them see anything that you're doing. If you notice that you are crossing your hands for protection, you can do that. That's okay. But maybe just put your hands in your pocket. Just relax, take a deep breath, and just listen to what they have to say, but just keep everything really short. Basically, you're a gray rock. You're emotionless. You're uninteresting. You're not worth their drama. And I say their drama, not the drama, because they're the ones making the drama. So just a couple things when not to use the gray rock method, just suggestions, definitely in any kind of abusive situations, if you're dealing with a physically or emotional abusive person. Gray rocking alone may not be enough, so please seek support from a therapist, a hotline, a trusted person. Please protect yourself. If it's going to put you in danger to gray rock, or if someone's escalating, disengaging may trigger aggression, so always prioritize your safety. When it's affecting your mental health, being emotionally shut down for long periods of time isn't healthy. Some of us have had relationships for years and you've had, maybe you feel like you've had to try different methods and then you're gray rocking and you're all of a sudden you're realizing that they're not stopping and it's 2 or 3 months later and you're like, holy moly, this is really taking a toll on my mental health. It's not healthy. Use this method as a short-term strategy, not a long-term coping mechanism. Please reach out to someone that can help. The gray rock method isn't about being rude, so I just want to mention that. It's about protecting your energy from people who don't respect it, who don't earn it, who don't need it. You don't owe anyone your emotional energy. And you're not responsible for fixing toxic people. Just know that. So let's go on to the fogged mirror method. It's just a different way of handling toxic people that might be not as completely dull as gray rock, but you do become unreadable and hard to pin down. And that's what the fogged mirror method is. This would be, there's different, I'm going to share when to use gray rock and maybe when to use fogged mirror method. So instead of shutting down completely, this next method makes your responses unclear, vague, or hard to grasp. It's kind of like a redirect. So it subtly confuses toxic people without being confrontational. Again, though, if you're in a situation where you don't feel safe, go reach out to someone. Have someone help. Find a trusted resource, okay? So imagine someone trying to see your reflection in the mirror. It's covered in fog. They keep trying, but they can't get that clear picture of you because you're looking in this mirror. It's a fogged mirror. And they just can't get a clear picture. It's not clear. That's exactly what happens when you use this method. Manipulative people think they're getting somewhere, but they never actually will because that mirror is fogged. They can't see through. They can't see you in that reflection. So just picture that. Like maybe you get done, you get out of the shower and your mirror is fogged because you forgot to turn the fan on and you can't see yourself. You know you're there, right? You know you're standing there. Maybe you can see your shadow, but you can't see any defined details or definitions. That's the fogged mirror method. That's what you want them to see. You don't want them to see anything, maybe a shadow of you. Okay? It's about being vague but polite. You're going to respond in a way that gives no useful information. You're going to redirect conversations, like shift the focus away from personal details, and it's all in the reaction, and it's all in what you say. And you're going to give neutral affirmations, like acknowledge without engaging deeply. And then you're just going to act disinterested. Don't give them anything emotionally satisfying. So very, very similar to gray rock. So, but let me give you some examples. When you want to keep your responses unclear and hard to read, like for example, they say, "Are you mad at me?" You can say, "Not sure. I haven't really thought about it." It's kind of disconnecting, like you haven't thought about them. Or what if they say, "Why don't you ever call me first?" You can say, "Good question." See how it has nothing to do with you? It's basically about them. Like, why are they even asking that? Like, "Are you mad at me?" "Not sure. Haven't really thought about it." Like, you're not even in my mind. Or, "Why don't you ever call me first?" "Good question." And then that's it. That's it. End the conversation. How about give answers that go nowhere? And again, this is for the gaslighters, the narcissists, the ones that you recognize are a lot of trouble to you. They're hurting your mental health. Okay, this is not just learning how to fight with a spouse or a friend. Don't do that. Use your words. So a narcissist, whether at work or personal life, whatever, give answers that go nowhere. For example, "Tell me what's going on in your life." You can say, "Same old, same old." That's it. Same old, same old. Nothing new here. Right? And then if they say something back like, "Wow, that's boring." Yep. Because you're not giving them answers that go anywhere. They can't use anything against you if you don't give them anything. Or how about they say, "Did you hear about what happened with so-and-so or with whatever?" Interesting, you can say. Interesting. You can use one word. You don't even have to say, "huh." And that's it. If they want to keep talking about it, just say, "Interesting." That's it. Don't engage. Don't engage in the gossip. How about redirect the conversation away from you? Like what if they say, "Why didn't you text me back right away?" You can say, "Oh, speaking of texting, did you hear about the new phone update?" Oh, that's just way the other way. Way the other way. "Why didn't you text me back right away?" "Oh, speaking of texting, did you hear about the new phone update?" No. It has nothing to do with you texting them back right away, right? You're redirecting. How about they say, "You're acting different. What's wrong?" You can say, "Maybe it's the weather. It's been weird lately." Or for us, maybe it's the weather. It's super cold out. You see how they say you're acting different, but you're going to blame the weather? Try it. So why does the fogged mirror method work? You don't give them emotional fuel. There's nothing to latch onto. It subtly discourages future engagement. You're too vague to be interesting. There's nothing for them to pick on. They're not going to be interested in it because you're not giving them anything back. Very, very similar to gray rock. Maybe you stay polite, but but you're unreadable. No emotional outbursts, no drama. Again, very similar to gray rock. It makes toxic people frustrated because without a clear reaction, they just lose interest. Ugh, forget it. You're being told something at work and they're really just like hammer it into you, and you can say, I hear you. That's fine. But did you notice that? And then you just go, you can combine the two, right? I hear you, but did you see this over here? Redirect them. It just gets them very frustrated because they want to dig on you. They want to dig up stuff on you. They want to make you frustrated. They want to see your reaction. Don't give it to them. You're way better than that. Way better than that. Even if they're telling you that you're not, you are way better than that. So let's compare situations and maybe when to use gray rock and maybe when to use fogged mirror. Now, obviously you have to do what's best for you, okay? So if you're dealing with a toxic ex, you can use either one. Whatever you're more comfortable with. Nosy coworkers, you may want to try fogged mirror because you have to stay professional. The gray rock might be too robotic and they might catch it right away, and then who knows what could happen. But again, whatever works best for you. How about a manipulative family member? You can use both. Again, whatever you're comfortable with. How about friends that are all of a sudden drama seeking? The gray rock might be a little too obvious, but it might not. It's up to you. The fogged mirror might be a little more natural. Like, hey, did you hear what happened to so-and-so? No, but did you see how cold it was out? Maybe that works, especially if the friend's going just through a temporary rough time. But if they truly are drama-seeking friends, again, if you're comfortable, use either one. How about aggressive bullying? Aggressive bullying. Gray rock is number one. That one works the best. Fogged mirror might not be firm enough. They might still come after you. So you got to use what's best for you, and you know your situation. Not everyone deserves access to your emotions, your time, your personal life. Whether you choose gray rocking or fogged mirror, the goal is the same, and they're very, very similar. Stop giving toxic people the reactions they crave. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time.
you.